And next, let's move up to talk about measuring forces. So now, for forces here, how do we measure it? First, we must have a unit for it, okay? Because forces is a physical quantity, there must be some sort of a measurement that we can do. So now, take note, the SI unit for forces, okay, the SI unit is newtons. The symbol given is N. So it is newtons. Okay, that's the SI unit. The symbol used is N. Obviously, it's named after our dear friend here, Sir Isaac Newton. Okay, he has made many contributions to the physics world. So, some examples of the how to gauge how much is a Newton. So, if an N pulls something, it's generally about 0.001 Newton. The car engine have a strength of about 5,000 Newton. And the engine of a space shuttle, you can see here, is 30 million newtons. So one way that we use to measure newtons, if we measure force, is to use newtons. So just take note, this is just give you a gauge of how it is, the strength of each force. But obviously this is the strength, okay, we talk about the magnitude of the force, or the size of the force. However, how do we in actual real life measure it? Okay, for our daily lives, this is what we use. We use this thing called a force meter. Okay, we use a force meter. Generally they are spring balancers. Okay, spring balancers. So now there are two types of spring balancers. One is we term as the compression spring balance. Okay, this one is the one that your parents use for baking at home, or maybe even you do baking at home. So what you do is you put things on top of the spring balance, and the spring pushes down. Okay, the spring is compressed as the force pushes on it. So the greater the force, the more the spring compresses. Okay, the greater the force, the more the spring compresses. So just take note of this. So this is with regards to the compression spring balance. Now, for the extension spring balance, this is different. This is about extending the spring. It's a stretch. So when a force exerts on the spring balance, okay, the force pulls on it. Okay, it pulls the spring. So the greater the force, the more the spring stretches. So just take note, there's two force meters here that you're learning, two spring balancers. One is termed as the compression spring balance. The other one is termed as the extension spring balance. So two different kinds to measure force. So yep, that's it for regards to the third part of measuring forces.